David K. Johnston, author of The Making of Donald Trump. David, thanks for being with us. Certainly much has been made about what the public would learn if President Trump made his tax returns public. At least part of that question has been answered by reporting from the New York Times. What conclusions do you think, or what conclusions do you draw based on what we've learned?
Well, Donald took enormous deductions in 2008 and 2009, $1.4 billion of deductions. And there's nothing I see in the Times reporting that would explain deductions of that size. Now, why is that important? Well, Donald has been tried twice for income tax fraud, story I broke 5 years ago. And he lost both of those cases. He just made up deductions in that case. And one of the implications of the Times story is that he may have just made up deductions. There are questions specifically in the Times report about whether improper deductions were taken for certain kinds of legal fees that are personal, and whether possibly there was a disguised gift that was turned into a tax deduction involving Ivanka. There's a lot here, Anderson, that suggests that the Manhattan grand jury is looking at serious, repeated tax behavior.
Yeah, I don't know much really about tax law at all, but if what he's doing, that any parent would, ensnare their child in some tax scheme, if that is in fact what this is, says something about the parent. But according to this Ivanka thing, she was an employee of the Trump organization. She's getting hundreds of thousands of dollars as a consultant, so she gets the benefit of that, and it's him passing money to her that's not taxed in the same way that it might be if it was a gift, and he takes it as a tax deduction.
Right, and you have that exactly right. You can pay reasonable compensation to someone, and that's likely to be an issue. The more important issues are likely to be, however, things like Don Jr.'s legal bills and some other legal bills being charged as tax deductible expenses, which would not be appropriate. I think it's also significant that that $750 that appears in 2 years, according to the Times, is just a plug-in number. Line 56 of your tax return, that's just a plug-in number. It's not a real figure there. So those are really years he probably paid no income tax. This does make it crystal clear why Donald wants to hide his income tax returns from us. And the Times doesn't have his returns. They have what's called return information. The state of New York and the IRS share information. There are other people who would have this information for various reasons. You can believe, and I can tell you as a longtime former reporter for the New York Times, this story was gone over by editor after editor after editor. I did stories that had 30 editors weighing in on them, and all of it will hold up, just as the 2018 story the Times did held up. My 2017 coverage of Donald's 2005 tax return has held up.
What still don't we know? What questions are still out there about his taxes that voters deserve to have answered?
Well, I think the single most important question is, to what degree did Donald Trump get money from foreign governments or foreign entities? The oligarchs basically are the biggest criminal gang in the world. They report to their boss, Vladimir Putin. And to what extent we know that Trump got money from oligarchs? We know that there are cases I and others have written about that these deals were not normal business deals. They make no sense when examined as business deals, but they make perfect sense as either money laundering or payoffs. The second thing we need to be concerned about is that Donald has personally guaranteed over $300 million of loans that would come due during a second Trump term. Well, do you think any bank is seriously going to go after the President of the United States if he doesn't pay his bills? And that's been Donald Trump's pattern throughout his life. He borrows money, he pays money, and he doesn't pay his bills. He doesn't pay his vendors, who then sometimes go out of business. He cheats his workers, he cheats governments, and he has this well-established history that's in my writings about him of hiding records, lying and denying about records, and fabricating tax deductions.
I remember riding in a Uber, I think it was, in Atlantic City a year or two ago, and the driver was a contractor who had done work on, the resort or the Aladdin, I guess it was, and got stiffed.
The Taj.
And never got paid, went out of business. David K. Johnson, appreciate it. Fascinating reporting from you for a long, long time. Appreciate it.